Hello everybody, good day and you're welcome back to my channel. For my old subscribers, thank you for sticking around, and if you are new to this channel, my name is Blessing. If you are a new subscriber, don't forget to like, comment and also share this video. Alright, I hope you all have been fine. Today I'll be doing a tutorial on how to cut and sew a smoky dress. I'll be using 3 yards of Ankara because of the size of the person. You can use lesser depending on who you are sewing for. I'll also be using half yard of a plain material, or what to call shiny face or taffeta, and I'll be using an elastic band for the hand. It will be an off shoulder smoky dress. Alright, you can use the hand, you can use the Ankara to form the hand of your dress, or you can use this plain material. It depends on you, but this is what the person wants, so this is what I'll be using for mine. Alright, let's start cutting. Alright, all you have to do is just to fold your material into 4, because I'll be cutting the front and the back together. Some persons, they cut the front first, then they use the front to cut for the back, but this one there will be no zipper allowance. It's a smoky dress, so I'll just leave it like that. Alright, the length of the dress will be 38 plus 2, that will be making it 40, plus 2 to making it 40. Then when you fold the dress, make sure to check for the size. Use the bigger measurement, which is the hip. Use that to check for the dress, if it's up to the measurement you'll be using. Alright, I'll just go ahead and input the measurement. The shoulder is 18 divided by 2, that is 9, so I'll go ahead and mark that 9 on the dress. I'll go ahead and mark the 9 on the dress. Alright, I'm using a blue chalk, so please try and I'm actually trying my best to make sure you could see it well. So I've marked the 9. I'll go ahead and mark for the length of the armhole. I'll be using 9 for this dress. You can use 8, you can use 7 depending on the person, but I'll be using 9 for this dress. I'm using 9 for the armhole of the dress. So I'll just go ahead and mark the 9. You can see. Go ahead and mark the 9. Then I'll use my rule to connect. But just to be on the safer side, you go ahead and you can actually run across the 9 on the dress so that it will be straight when you are using your rule to connect it. So I'll use my ruler to connect the shoulder and the armhole together. Alright, so for us to give our armhole that curve, as I do it, I'll look for the half of the armhole, which is 9, that's 4.5, that's the half. Then where the 2 lines meet, you go up by 1.5 and you give it that curve. Give that curve as usual. So just give it that curve. I'm sorry if you cannot see this, but just try and follow up. Just give it that curve to get that armhole curve. Then we'll take our bust. We'll take the measurements for our bust. But first of all, if you want to make it easier for you, you go ahead and put in your measurements at the extreme. Go ahead and put in your measurements. We already know our armhole. Under our armhole, we'll be taking our bust measurement. Then the half length of this dress is 16. You go ahead and mark your 16. Then the hip line is 26. Go ahead and mark your 26. We already know the length of the dress, that is 40, and the 40 is already in place. So you go ahead and take in our bust measurement. Taking the bust measurement, and for this dress we'll be adding an 6 inch allowance. Normally in all my clothes I add 4 inch, sometimes I add 3 inch depending on the person, but this dress is a smoky dress, so I'll be adding 6 allowance in each of the measurements, because it should be free. Depends on you. Your smoky dress can actually be tight for you or free for you, but for this smoky dress it will be free for the person. So I'll be adding 6 inch allowance. All right, I also go ahead and take in the under bust measurement. Go ahead and take in the under bust measurement. After taking the under bust measurement, go ahead and take in the hip measurement. Measurements for the hip. Then the end of the dress will also be using the measurement for the hip for the under, but you go in by 1.5 inch or 1 inch or 2 inch, because the length of the dress, like the ending of the dress, has to be a little bit tight. So go in to give it that shape, that curve, going by 1.5 inch. Then from the under bust, the bust, the under the bust, the hip, and the end of the dress, you just give it that curve, connect it. I hope you are seeing this blue shock. I'm trying my best to make it okay. Just taking your measurements, give it that curve and cut. It's actually simple. Cutting the dress is simple, but the only thing, the only this dress is the only difficult thing in this dress is the smoking. It's not really easy to smoke at all. It's not easy at all. That's the only thing. Just taking your measurements. Even though you are a beginner, you'll be able to do it. All right, don't forget I said it's an off shoulder dress, so I'll come down by like 4 inch. For the dress, I'll come down by 4 inch. All right, so I'll just take the 4 inch downwards across the dress up to the armhole. Then I'll use my rule to connect. It will just be a straight off shoulder. I'm not giving it any sweetheart neck or anything. Just be a straight one. So you just take that line, that 4 inch, just take the line down to the armhole. I'm going back again to cross check to make sure my lines are straight. All right, after making a straight line, just go ahead and curve the armhole again. Just curve the armhole again. That's all. You can come down, you can make it a v-neck, you can make it a sweetheart neck, you can just leave it like that, but me, I'll be leaving mine like that. So I'll go ahead and cut the dress. Just go ahead and cut the dress. All right, I'm done cutting the dress. Don't forget I said I'm cutting the back and the front together. So you can see the armhole, it's actually shorter than before. All right, I'll just go ahead and open it so you see how it looks like. This is it. You are looking at some parents may be like, this dress is big. Oh, the measurement of the person is not that big. I added 6 inch allowance, and if I'm done with the smoky dress, you see that it's actually smaller. It will look smaller but very stretchy. Some persons they like their own tight, some like their own free, some very free. So that's just it. All right, so I'll go ahead and take in the round circumference of the dress. Circumference of the dress is 47. Circumference of the dress is 47. So for the front and the back, you just add up together, then subtract it from the 47. So the remaining one left will be for the armhole. That's what we'll be using to cut for the hand of the dress. All right, so just go ahead to cut for the sleeve of the dress. Don't forget it's an off shoulder. So the remaining measurements, you go ahead and divide it into two because we'll be having two armhole, two sleeves. So you go ahead and start dividing the measurements for each of them, then you go ahead and put it in. I'm actually leaving 2 inch allowance. I'm leaving 2 inch allowance for the seam allowance because I'll be putting a band, to be a band, putting a band so that to give that firm, that free allowance. Like, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, if I should put the band, it will be a bit tight and all. So I just want it to be a bit free for the person, so that it will not be very tight. So when I used my elastic, this is how it will look like. Then I'll put elastic for the hand also. I put an elastic band for the hand also to give it a very fine look, to give it a very fine look. So I'll just go ahead to my machine. I'll go ahead to my machine and do the smoking. And when you are smoking, don't forget that if you are a beginner, don't forget the smoky thread should be at the short toe, then the normal thread should be on top. And I'd advise that you use another short toe. Use another short toe for the smoky dress. Alright, after smoking the whole of the dress, I'll just go ahead and attach together. Go ahead and attach both together. And if you are observing, you see that there are some sides I did not smoke. Those are the sides I'm joining together. Alright, you just sew down up to the armhole, then you stop because we'll be attaching the hand. Alright, I'll just bring it out so that you see how it looks like. This is it. I've not attached the hand yet, the sleeve yet. You can see it's looking very fine. So for the sleeve, I'll just go ahead and fold into two. I'll go ahead and fold into two, and I'll put the elastic in between. And fold it to again, put the elastic in between. So for you not to stress yourself, so that it will not be stresses for you, you just go ahead and use your machine to press down the elastic, and just sew like that. As you are sewing down, just be dragging the elastic. So you can see I'm done. Alright, I'll go ahead and attach the sleeve to the dress. Just try and be careful so you don't use too much of the stretching mat. You don't use too much of the smoky dress. Alright, I'm done attaching the sleeve for both sides, for the two sides rather. I'm done attaching the sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and join the sleeves together. Don't forget, I'll be adding an elastic band at the end of the hand, at the end of the sleeve rather. I'm used to, and at the end of the sleeve I'll be attaching a band, so I'll just sew together so it does not disturb me when I'm trying to turn over the sleeve with the band. So you measure the sleeve of the person, the hand of the person, you measure the size rather, you measure. So for this, alright, for this dress I'll be using the length will be 8. We'll be using 8 because it will be very stretchy, so we'll be using 8. So if you are folding it into 2, that is 4. I already cut mine already, and I've even sewn one, but you can see the one I have not cut. If you are measuring it, it will be like 8. It will be like 8. So when it's on the fold, it will be 4. You can see this is 8. It's 8. So we'll just go ahead and fold and then sew it. Then I'll be using this one I've sewn already to do it, to give an illustration. So that's just it. You just put it in between, then fold into 2, I like folding mine into two, rather than folding it just once and sewing. So I'll just fold mine into two to be on the safer side. Just run the stitch across. When you are sewing, just try and be stretching the elastic. All right, I'm done. Let me show you how it looks like. It's very, 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 very fine. The dress is very, very fine. Very fine. Just for you to follow steps and use your instinct also. Use your instinct also and be creative, very creative to come out where you can see it came out very well. It came out fine. Came out fine. You can see the hand, the sleeve. You can see it's very fine. Very fine. And that's the elastic for the hand. It's looking very, 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 very fine. Very fine. All right, we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you learned a lot and this tutorial was very helpful, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. All right, be safe, and I'll see you all in my next video. So take care. Bye.